welcome. This is a new episode of Building an Empire, which we haven't released in almost a year now, almost exactly 1 year. We're just about at our 1 year mark. We're taking this week off in the gym, no classes, no open gym or anything, to do some maintenance in the space. It's been a long year already, and build some new equipment as well. We also figured we'd use this opportunity to sort of reflect on what the first year was like. Things we learned, there's already building going on. Reflect on things we learned, things we want to try in the future, and obviously talk about how COVID affected us, because that happened pretty much right in the middle of our first year. It messed a lot of people up, and we're no exception there. But we're doing okay now. We're building some new equipment in the space, which they're starting back there already. So we'll show off some of that, talk about our first year, and we'll see what happens. Justin, how's it feel to be back in the space, building stuff a year later?
They've kept me in the cellar this whole time. They only bring me out when they're building something.
So you've been in there for a year?
Yep.
So we're at like our 1 year mark, and that's pretty hype. Like, first of all, yeah, we did it. What a crazy like first year to have. I mean, not even just like COVID, just like in general, it was like a crazy first year. It was really busy. We made a lot of changes as kind of the first year went by. Kind of every session that happened, we were like, what did we like, what didn't we like? And what could we do differently? What would make things better for staff? What would make things better for students? What would make things better for parents? So there's a lot of stuff we had to look at that we wanted to change. I know the very first change we made was we started running classes where like they were all back to back. So as soon as a class ended, we started like another one. And right off the bat, we were like, this is really stressful for like kids coming in and out the door, supervising the kids who were like 10 minutes early before their class. It was very tough, I guess, for everyone involved. So we just put a 15-minute break in, and it was like a world of difference. It was so much better for everybody involved, and it was like, oh, it's weird that we have so much control over like our job, what we're offering. Then COVID hit, which first year startup business is like a death sentence. I know a lot of parkour gyms didn't make it, which like that really sucks. That was really daunting. But again, it comes back to, I guess, support. We got the support we needed from our community, from our athletes, from our staff, and straight up from the government. We were very worried, I guess, with our fall session coming up, that we weren't going to have the same numbers that we did before, or that people would maybe be still a little tentative about getting back to it, and rightfully so. But we've got really good numbers. We had to make a lot of changes to the way we run things, which make it harder for us, but ultimately better for everybody else. And it's really cool to see people jumping on board with that and kind of getting right back into the swing of things. We're taking out the grass so we can anchor our base of our studs and walls right into the concrete. You could just rip this now too, this way. And then we'll slide it back and just do it again like that. So what we decided we're going to do is take that sheet of plywood off and just flip the deck here all the way over it.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference that I've noticed probably is that like I actually have legs for concrete this year. Like usually I've been pretty scared to go and like throw flips on the concrete or on just like on hard ground and stuff like that. And like stick it to grass or like find a place to flip off of something into grass instead. But this year I felt a lot more confident. It's easier to get my body to want to do things on hard ground again, which is something that's a little bit new to me. Having hard surfaces to train on instead of just soft stuff in like we had beforehand, it's made quite a big impact for sure.
So basically all of our skills that we got from building the gym in the first place amounted to us building this in the same way, where we build it once and then we realize that we forgot to account for the plywood going on, so we've now taken it apart, and then we'll cut it, and then we'll build it again. So yeah, everything's double checked here.
How does it feel to be back in the gym building stuff?
It's like deja vu. I thought it was all finally over. But
I don't think it's ever over.
No, never. No, it feels good though. It's fun. A different kind of fun. A nice break. No, pretty good year overall, all things considered. Curriculum was an interesting one. Had that developed and ready to go at the start of last year, and then ran into some hiccups and some problems and noticed things that we wanted to add or things that we wanted to maybe take away or move around, specify on, and yeah, redid it. Didn't get a chance to really use it because COVID hit, and then sort of got a little, I don't know, a little experimental session with it once we did open back up. So this next year should be pretty fun to like actually really get into it and really refine it a little bit more. But lots of kids completed level 1s and 2s more than I thought, and it should be interesting this time around.
Angles, we gotta have an 80 on the top, so it's opposite. Have them right against the studs here, put spacers on the bottom, and then another reinforcement going out here, and then that's about it. The tricky part is, if we're keeping that angle going here, this one's nice and 8 feet, but this one's gonna be awkward like 6 feet, halfway up the wall. So we're trying to decide if we want to build them as 2 separate walls right now, or if we want to try and do one base plate across all of it. Obviously, the more it's all one piece, the stronger it'll be, but much more math required.
One thing that I think that was really cool that I didn't, sort of made me happy, kids and students of ours have asked like what it takes to become a coach, and have said that they're like, oh, what can I do to get started? Like, I want to coach here one day, like how can I do that? And that's sort of, that just makes me really happy to see that there are people out there that want this in their long-term goals and want to be here and have parkour be part of their life for a long time or their whole life. And I think that's, having the gym here has made that sort of possible, to have parkour here in your life in Saskatoon for the long term, for the long run. all our dreams came true. Everything that we hoped about the gym, being sort of a center, a community center, a hub for us to meet and share parkour with each other, but also just sharing friendship, hanging out, making friends, meeting friends. That's all happened. That's really, really cool.
I think my favorite thing from the first year was just how many new people we were able to introduce to parkour. Our community has always been fairly small and tight-knit. If someone's doing parkour, you generally know who they are already. But I've actually been able to go to some of our spots and see kids that I've never met or don't know actually doing parkour. And on top of that, I think the public reception of parkour here has changed for the better as well. Normally when you go out training, you're used to someone coming up to you and saying, don't hurt yourself, you don't know what you're doing. But now we get people that already know who we are, or at least they recognize the gym name on a shirt or something, and they're genuinely curious about what we're doing, what we teach, how we teach it, and how they can learn more. So it's been a really nice experience with just the local community in general, just welcoming us in and us being able to return the favor and welcome hundreds of new people in at this point, and it's only getting bigger each time. So one thing I'm hoping to achieve moving on to year 2 is injecting a little bit more of the parkour culture into the gym. We just installed a projector on the other side of the gym there, where we'll be playing videos all day long as classes are going on, so that kids can become familiar with these teams and these athletes, and then they can hopefully from there develop their own style based on which athletes they like. On top of that, I'd also like to start hopefully selling other parkour brands in the gym and not just our own Empire stuff. It'd be really cool to be working with some of the teams from the UK or Europe or anywhere really, and just representing them here as well as their own local communities. Kids seem to really enjoy wearing our stuff as it represents how much they enjoy doing parkour, and it'd be really cool to have them representing some of those other brands too, and just supporting the community on a global level instead of just local.
We're doing our first coat of the wood adhesive on there. So this stuff going on the raw wood, and then we can put the epoxy on top of that. So the epoxy is the really nice, like grippy, kind of soft one. But yeah, this is our first coat going on. We gotta have this dry for 24 hours. So we gotta put it on now so we can work on other stuff in the meantime.
doing?
I am measuring out more grilled trees because we only have 6 and we want to have 10. So I'm making 4 more.
So we got more of the grilled trees done yesterday. So now we're just cleaning up all the sharp edges with the sander. It's really good to apply, so it's actually really easy to do. And we're gonna throw a coat of paint on after this. We're adding in this grit, which is like a pretty fine powder, to our epoxy. So that way when we put it on the wall, it's got really good like grip. So climb ups and stepping on the wall, tacks, wall tricks are all gonna be real smooth.
You like the new vacuum cleaner?
I love it.